The morning of September 11, 2001, the terrorist organization known as Al-Qaeda coordinated a series of suicide attacks against the United States, killing 2,974 people and causing 6,294 people to need immediate medical treatment. As a direct result, President Bush employed what you and I both know as the War on Terror. Although Al-Qaeda and Taliban terrorist groups have been nearly successfully driven from Afghanistan, a new mecca of terrorism has risen. The United States military has forced insurgents from Afghanistan only for them to set up camp across border in Pakistan. Waziristan, part of the northwest frontier province of Pakistan, is called the hinge that joins Pakistan and Afghanistan. Split into two administrative units, North and South Waziristan, it is largely run by the Taliban, with foreign jihadists among them. Waziristan also serves as a magnet attracting extremist Muslims and terrorists from Europe. If terrorism has a headquarters, it is Waziristan. The Pakistani government has little, if any, control of the region of Waziristan. Major Jeffrey Langlands, a British colonial officer who served as the headmaster of North Waziristan's only secondary school for over a decade, describes Waziristan as a place that, until 2001, was lawless only in the sense that it had no laws. What he means is that before the presence of terrorist groups, the tribes interacted rather peacefully through the use of jirgas and riwaj, which are both tribal customary law. However, this is no longer the case, evidenced by the fact that Major Langlands is now the headmaster at a school in Chitra, since he, along with 10 other teachers and 80 pupils, were kidnapped from his former school by the Taliban. Now, South Waziristan's political agent, Syed Shahab, has a very weak foundation for a peace agreement with the Taliban. In South Waziristan alone, over 600 people have been brutally murdered by the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Although they claim that U.S. interference is a threat to Pakistani intelligence, the Pakistani military can be described as tolerant at best. This is because last April, the Taliban seized Malakand's burner district, which is just 62 miles from Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan. Because of this neglectful approach on Pakistan's part, they will continue to struggle with Waziristan. And once they do decide to act, Waziristan is only guaranteed to be as corrupt and torn as the Pakistani government is now. This is why the United States government must step in. We must ensure the 4 out of 5 Pakistani civilians who feel unsafe in public that they will be protected. We must ensure the protection of the American people who are afraid. We must silence Al-Qaeda's threat to the free world. Their documented saying, "With Allah's permission, we will come to you from where you do not expect." To ensure the safety and protection of the innocent civilians of Pakistan as well as of the United States, our message back must be, we will come to you from where you do not expect. We must kill the infection where it lives. This will be achieved through the use of drone warfare as well as isolated land attacks. A drone is simply a remotely piloted unmanned aircraft. The use of drones in military conflict has come to define the methodology of 21st century warfare. They have been proven successful, are efficient, and are in the 2010 defense budget. On December 19th of last year, Congress approved the 2010 defense budget, which allocates about $80 million to the use of drones, which costs about $15 million per. This will mean that war costs will still account for less than 5% of GDP. There is some ethical debate, however, of the civilian casualties caused by drones. Although drones have killed several high-profile Al-Qaeda and Taliban leaders, it is not without a cost. This is why we propose the use of quick, efficient, and precise land attacks. Our troops on the ground in Pakistan and Afghanistan would carry out more accurate strikes where drones would be risky and not as efficient. This would lower civilian casualties, as well as bolster the success of which the drones have already proved themselves capable. It is vital that we consider this aggressively and start treating the situation, as complicated as it is, like a war. The Pakistan government has proved to be negligent, as well as tolerant of the threat of Taliban and Al-Qaeda in the past. Now, although they have employed 50,000 troops, they proved to be inefficient in securing the entire front. Though the Pakistani government has expressed this desire to help, they simply do not have the military intelligence capable of achieving this goal alone. 3,021 people were killed in terrorist attacks in Pakistan in 2009, which is a 48% increase from the previous year. And still, Pakistani intelligence agencies had no idea of the whereabouts of Batullah Masood, the leader of the Taliban umbrella group, Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. He was, however, killed in South Waziristan in August by a U.S. drone. It is a result result of a very evidently effective CIA intelligence network in the Afghan provinces of Paktika and Khost, which border North and South Waziristan. With or without intelligence sharing or cooperation from the Pakistani government, it is imperative that we eliminate the Taliban and al-Qaeda swiftly and forcefully once and for all. For the 9,268 victims of 9/11, for the 3,021 innocent Pakistani civilians, for the countless who were not injured or killed but were still affected, for freedom and for diplomacy, we must persevere and end this war. Al-Qaeda can adapt, and it needs to be the duty of the United States to keep them from being able to do that. They threaten the civil liberties of countless individuals, as well as openly remark that they will strike again. If we don't stop them, who will? How many suicide bombers, shoe bombs, or car bombs does it take to realize that they will stop at nothing? How many 9/11s does it take? Let it take just one to convince you that the lawless, heinous brutality that is al-Qaeda will stop for the government of the United States of America.
Ms. X, you have up to this point presented a plan of precision military strikes, while at the same time saying that U.S. forces leaving would lead to a power vacuum. Are you then prepared to commit a permanent U.S. force to continually prop up the undeveloped Pakistani government and, in this way, close negotiations that could at this point result in a nonviolent solution?
Going in and with our precise attacks, we would get rid of the Taliban and al-Qaeda. And, as you have mentioned before in your argument, we should encourage education in Pakistan. And it just so happens that we've already built over 1,000 schools in Pakistan. So once we leave, the education that we've already instilled there will fund their future, and we will have